What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Thomas Gallery, and today I want to talk about art in history. What I mean by that is I want to talk about how art has affected how we view history, how we depict history, how the stories are told throughout history. Like when we hear certain stories, the images that we come up when we think of these stories are mainly due to art. And so here we go. When you think about history and what history is, and history is mainly defined as a set series of recorded events. Okay. Now there are things that happen throughout history that aren't recorded. That is true. But for the most part, it is a set series of events that have been recorded and documented, filed or just set aside to mark that event or those events. Now, there are many ways to record history. We have written documents. We have, like letters and birth certificates and things of that nature. And we have oral history. We have stories passed down from mouth to ear. We have many stories that we know have come from what was told to us. Then we have the visual aspect of history, and that is what we are shown. We see pictures, we see paintings, excuse me, things of that nature. And the thing is, I want to talk about the visual aspect of it more so than anything else. Many of the stories that we know or that we think we know, that's another big thing. That many stories that we have been told, but have come to find out that that's either not the whole truth or a complete lie. And we have those images, we have those thoughts in our mind mainly due to what we are shown, the images that we are shown. We may see a painting of someone being killed, not to just get all morbid, but we may see a painting of someone being killed, and the painting may be, these people are starting trouble. So somebody came in to get rid of the issues, right? And we may say that due to the painting or the drawing or the image or the photograph that is shown. However, that does not always tell the whole story about the event in question. So many of our interpretations of history has come through the visual media. What we are shown is mainly how we view the world. And the thing with that is, it's not always the case. It's not always true. However, that visual image is so strong, it's so powerful, and we are shown those visual images throughout our entire life, from the womb to the tomb. We are shown visual images of certain people, certain places, certain things, certain events that happen. And we are told that this is history. However, because those things are so powerful, it shapes a lot of our ideas. Many of the ideas that we think we've come up with, we think that are unique. A lot of our quote unquote unique ideas have been bred from what we see. And that is the art. Art has helped us literally paint a picture of our environment. And when it comes to history, art has literally helped us paint the picture of what events have transpired. Even though we weren't there, and even though we may even have certain documents that tell us flat out what's going on, but the image, the visual image, is always the most potent factor in that. Whatever was said or whatever was written down doesn't really quite hit home until you see the image of it. Like, we could talk about slavery. We could talk about, there are documents. There are records that when you read them, they tell you what happened to people, what happened to Africans, stolen Africans during the time of slavery. We have it. First-hand accounts, second-hand accounts, third-hand accounts, records, inventory, things of that nature. We have those. And even though we know how horrific it was, the story really doesn't hit home. It really doesn't hit you in the chest until you see an image of a slave with his back literally blistered and bloodied up and literally and almost torn to the point where you could see the meat, the flesh, the bone. You could see that. Once you see that image, then the stories become that much more impactful. So, art, the visual arts, bring home the impact. So, when it comes to, like I said, mainly the visual arts, it forces you to see. The visual arts forces you to see what you thought to be true, or what you thought to be false, or what you wasn't too sure of. So, art and history, it's like you almost can't have history without art. Just imagine this. Imagine reading a story about Crispus Attucks, or about the Revolutionary War, or the Civil War, or imagine reading a story about, ancient Egypt, or ancient Greece, or the dynasties in China. Imagine hearing about those events, or reading about those events, but never having the images to correspond with what you read. How impactful would those things be? How impactful would they be? How significant would those stories be if you didn't have the vision, the visual aspect of it? How much more impactful would it be if you didn't have the art to go with the Renaissance period? Imagine reading about the Renaissance period and Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and all them, Donatello, all them, but never having the art to go with that period of time. How impactful would it be then? Think about that. All right, so just think about that. Chew that around for a little bit. Let me know what you all think, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.